Ooh, elevator pitch. Hold on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So you should come to this show simply just because this show is going to be a chance for you to see creativity and positivity come on the same plane. If you want a chance to be a part of something that's more inspirational than your normal life that we're doing in the city of Pittsburgh, you should definitely come out to this thing because it's going to be different. It's not super expensive. It's $10. If you don't got $10 in your wallet, you probably shouldn't show up anyway. So, come out, come have a good time, man. It's going to be a really good time, a lot of positivity, man, and we're giving back.
Yep.
Let me repeat that. We're giving back. Hope that y'all heard that. We're giving back. So that's huge, man.
Show it. Maybe we'll get sponsored. Let me get the Deer Park too. That's
They'll be like, hey, we'll be here.
Shout out to anybody can do this show. They've been trying to get sponsored by Deer Park.
Deer Park.
It's like the most outrageous sponsorship to go after because like everyone goes after the trendy brands and they're just going after like generic
super
Deer
generic.
Park water.
Super generic. We should though.
We should do
that shit.
That'd be like a good. It would probably end up being a cool uniform. They have some nice colors and like their logo could flow on it. We could mock it up. Yeah. No, the Deer Park football uniforms.
Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah. We should just start mocking up uniforms for like regular brands. That'd be sick.
Hell yeah.
Well, cool. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. If you've been watching, it's been about a month, a little over a month since we did an episode. Obviously, I have a guest today. This is Tre Tipton, my guy. If you've been following Pitt football over the last couple of years, or you may be a creative here in Pittsburgh or wherever, this man, he does it all. Travels around speaking, and we'll get into a little bit about who you are and why you're sitting here next to me today. But just to fill you guys in, like I said, I wanted to go to a weekly podcast towards the end of the year, and I still do want to move to a weekly. But in order to do that, I had to take a step back and had a lot of moving parts in my life. Like I had a baby boy on the 7th, so man. Thanks, dude. So just been navigating through that. And then honestly, why I wanted to have you on is because part of the things that started to shake up was when shortly after I met you. So, grateful for you, man. I'm really excited for what we have planned, and our work that we're going to be doing, because not only is it really fun stuff that I know both of us are passionate about, but it really does have potential to reach a lot of people and help people that are going through things we've been through or are going through. Right. So, yeah, man, what are you feeling? How should we kick this thing off? I don't even know where to begin.
I don't even know where to begin, to be honest with you. I'm just happy to be here. You know what I mean? Nah, man, it's been we've been on a journey together for real, bro. You just started working with me at the Pavement Group, as well as doing as much as anybody else that I know on this planet Earth, man. With every shoot that you've done, every painting that you've done, including the exhibition, man, you're doing a lot, bro. So it's definitely want to give you your props, man, because that's inspirational.
Thanks,
it's very
man.
Inspirational. You inspired me in a way, so appreciate you.
Cool,
for that.
Man. I'm glad to have you along on this journey, and we have literally done a year's worth of brainstorming together in the last month. So just to rewind, basically, I was actually sitting in a meeting with Cole, my sound guy on the podcast, but he's much more than that in my life. But yeah, so Cole and I were meeting, and you actually DM'd me about I don't even know. I think it was one of these paintings you saw. I don't know what it was, but you were let's just connect, whatever. I was sitting there right there. I was like, dude, this Tre dude just hit me up, and I was like, I don't know what he has in mind. And then one thing so what's your how did you come across my stuff?
So look, man, we were sitting down. I was talking to my boss. He was like, yo, who's dope in the city? And we were scrolling through a bunch of different people. He's like, you know what? There's somebody that I really, really like. I'm like, who? And we just had followed each other. And he was like, man, no, we need to talk to him. And I was like, let me try to get a hold of him and see if he'd be interested. So I had reached out to you, see if you had any interest in possibly meeting and just sitting down and having a conversation.
Bro, I totally was 30 minutes late to that meeting.
Hey, bro, I ain't even go hold. I was like, my man ain't showing up. It's all good.
I felt so bad. I'm notoriously late. So, it's something I'm working on actively, but that was like next level. I'd literally forgotten, like lost track of the time. I knew I had it in my calendar, and for some reason I just was working on some edit. Dude, that time flew by, and I was like, I thought I was walking distance from where you told me to meet, and I pulled it up, and I was thinking it was a 5-minute walk, but it was a 5-minute drive. So that's like the other side of the city.
Yeah.
So I hopped in my car. I'm flying. I couldn't find parking. I felt so bad. I run into this thing, and Brian was like, Brian, who owns the Pavement Group, and that's who we're working with. And putting on this whole thing, which we'll get into, and that's kind of how we got connected. But he was like super like understanding, thankfully.
Different. He's different, ain't he? Like he chill.
Usually you get a little bit of a cold shoulder when you come 30 minutes to a first meeting, but dude bought me a steak, and the rest was history, honestly. But
and it was chill, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was really cool, man. And that was like, I was at a really fragile time with my business and my art, honestly, because like this summer, usually summers are a little bit more like dry because people are on vacation. Nobody's like really ordering shoes and really thinking about much like that until back to school, all that. And I mean, I'm not saying what I do is like cyclical like in retail, but there are peaks, that every year they're real predictable in this stuff. But I was getting tired of doing commissions, but I had to continue doing commissions because that was how I was paying my bills.
Right.
But I wanted to start like a passion project, so I started doing these weekly paintings, and I think that was like right around the time you reached out. And I was honestly like sitting there in some of these weekly meetings with Cole and just talking about the show, and I'm like, dude, like I'm putting a lot into this, and I'm doing these paintings now. It's got to lead to something. And then you reached out, and initially you guys were looking for what, like a mural?
We just wanted one mural done, and then from one mural we got into an exhibition, and then from there, now he's a part of TPG, man. It's called God Power, bro. I really genuinely believe that, man.
It couldn't have been like planned, honestly, because when I met you guys, I literally thought you just wanted a mural. So I'm talking to you about that. That conversation leads to like this, branding and like some marketing things that they're doing at the Pavement Group, and like how I could help out with that, and whatever, speak into that or design into that, whatever. And then just like getting to know you guys and like whatever, it literally led to us talking about this show. And I remember the first time I pitched it to Brian, he was like really excited about it. And he was like, but I need you to list out like what's this going to realistically cost.
Right.
And we had a couple different venues in mind, whatever, but it moved so fast from meeting you guys to let's plan this massive event at Stage AE. And everyone's asking me in my life, like, what the hell is going on? Like, I think people like, people in my family probably think I'm like selling drugs now because like, I'm throwing this massive event, and like, it's like, hold on, where did this come from?
How? Like, how did you do this? Like, how did you come up with this, bro? I talk about you to everybody I know too, by the way. I
do. I feel like we're like in a bromance right now. This is like the romance. What's the
romance stage, or
the
honeymoon stage? Yeah,
man.
Just keep it going,
No, I'm real grateful for like our friendship and what this is leading to. So let's jump into it a little bit. Tell, I guess, just a brief of like who you are,
right,
what you do, and why it ties into what we're doing here.
Oh man, I feel like I'm somebody who's nobody but everybody at the same time, man. I lived everywhere and nowhere again at the same time. I moved all over the place growing up. Never really had like a stable home. But then when it came down to it, man, my family moved to a nice little place called Apollo. After I had moved all over the city, all over the country on the East Coast, man, moved around a lot. And then once we got into Apollo, my life kind of changed. You know what I'm saying? Was one of 3 to 4 black kids in the whole town coming from the city of Pittsburgh, where I was the majority.
Yeah.
Right now I'm the minority, and then dealing with racism a little bit, and had to kind of found myself through sports. And then I made a pact with myself. I was going to go get it no matter how it looked or what it was. I was going to fight back and get what I wanted, and that was a scholarship. End up getting like 15 to 20 scholarships, man, and end up committing to the University of Pittsburgh, and was never looking back from there, man. And played my 7 years. Again, I say it, 7 years, which is still crazy to me, but played 7 years, and I wouldn't change it for the world, man. I done stole a whole bunch of money from the University of Pittsburgh on a scholarship, man, and I'm beyond blessed to be here right now.
Man, I've like only begun to scratch the surface on like who you are and like your story. I've seen like, you know, the articles and the stories on ESPN and whatever, and it's like crazy inspiring stuff. If you guys are listening, like they just need to go like search your story and just watch that, because if you want to see somebody who's like overcome enough for 10 lifetimes, this guy's been through it and, you know, stands tall and is, you know, just a good dude. So go check him out and watch that stuff. But yeah, so that kind of leads into, you know, us teaming up on this project, because, you know, when I started working together with you and Brian, and initially, like, I knew you'd be a part of this, but, you know, when I originally had the idea, it was just a show to, you know, for those of you listening that might not know what I'm talking about, I've been doing this weekly series of paintings. I initially planned on maybe getting a couple friends together after the season, having some beers and, like, you know, spending a couple $100 and throwing a party to like show all the art. But, you know, then meeting with you guys and you took it to like a new level. I think I needed to like also have a story behind it. Right. And not that I had to like manufacture the story. It forced me to sit down and really think about, why am I doing this? Right. Why did I spend this time? And there's like some surface level things that came up when I asked myself that, like, you know, well, I wanted to do something that I wanted to do. Right. And then I thought, you know, why am I choosing each one of these players for a painting? And it was based off of accomplishments. And I thought, like, that's interesting that, like, you know, the only criteria is what they do between the lines. And it like made me start to focus on, you know, how as our culture here in America, like with sports, not only just in America, but like I heard you say it in a video one time, actually on your social media, about athletes have, you say it in your words, but athletes have a hard time not identifying as like the sport they play or something. Yeah,
so athletes typically have a really, really tough time identifying themselves outside their sport. So, like, typically, no matter who you go to, no matter who you ask, right, they talk about their occupation when you ask them, who are you, right? Not who you are as a person. Immediately, the first thing we respond is with what we do as an occupation, right? But that's not who you are. Who you are is Vinnie. Who I am is Tre. You know what I'm saying? What do I like to do? Who am I?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I have high ambitions. Yeah. I have things that I really enjoy. There's things that I really take into account in terms of my own life. That's who I am as a man. Not the fact that I played ball at the University of Pittsburgh. Not that I played a little bit for the Steelers on a little preseason. That has nothing to do with me. Because who I am, that's who I was. But who I am, right, is the person who I stand on all 10 toes. You need something to get done. You ask me to get it done. It's going to get done. You know what I'm saying? And that's who I try to express to people when they ask me that simple question. Who are you? Yeah. Because you got to be careful, man. You look around, when people start identifying, you get to really see on what people think of themselves. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's where this came in, because it was like, you know, as fans of the game or people that, you know, move on, they're not athletes anymore. It's easy to just identify these guys and just put a helmet on them and they're like a superhero versus a human being. And so, you know, us teaming up, I think, you know, when I learned your passion, your story for speaking into mental health for athletes, and then I started thinking about this painting series and the idea of, you know, like, I'm doing these paintings, I don't know anything about this person. You know, I don't know another industry or trade that you know, creates something for 30, 40 hours and has no idea like anything about really the subject matter except for what they do when they're in between a whistle. Right. So it made me really start to think. So you opened up this show to a new level when you made me think about it. Because football paintings to the average person is a very shallow subject for art. But for me, it's not. It's very deep. And so I'm excited to, you know, team up and have this event at Stage AE and kind of highlight that, tell that story through the installation that we're going to be doing. You know, we just shot the video with you where you're watching your career, and I'll either link it in this video or I'll clip it in like right here or something. I don't know how I'm going to edit this, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, so that's like the intro for the event, and it's you kind of dwelling on your final moments at Pitt or final game at Pitt, and then while like all these things are happening around you, it kind of takes you to like actually turn around from like what you were focusing on to see like all the like cool creative things that are happening. And what's really symbolic about that video is that all of those people in that video were athletes, and now they're tapped into some creative passion, whether they still are in touch with the sport through their creative passion or not. There is a transition for all athletes from, you know, playing days to after playing days.
Right.
Nobody retires and then, you know, it's like,
It's over.
that's your, you know, that's it. Like you have a whole life.
Right.
So I guess the question for you is, you know, why is mental health important, do you think? And why is it important? Maybe this is like a 2-part question. Why is it important to give athletes like a networking opportunity or like a place to meet other athletes, so that not only just while they're playing they have, you know, comrades, but when they're done playing they have connections and professional, you know, what's the importance of connecting athletes with creatives and professionals and entrepreneurs and all that?
It's huge because everybody's looking for a locker room. You know what I'm saying? Like once you leave the sport, there's no locker room for the real world, right? Just like for military, right? There's no locker room for the real world. You know what I'm saying? So like you really got to find those people who are like you, like-minded like you, who also enjoy the things that you enjoy, right? So being able to speak to these people, right? You don't want to talk to nobody that doesn't understand who you may be, because nobody knows exactly who we are, right? Until we like to explain to these people on who we are.
Yeah.
But when you find people who are like-minded like you, they might understand you. That gives you a chance to speak up. It makes you comfortable. You know what I mean? Because it's hard for people who aren't athletes to understand on why athletes are the way that they are. You can tell an athlete, no matter what business they're running, doesn't matter what occupation they're doing, you can tell an athlete immediately by how they move, how they talk. You notice that they're very, very attentive. They pay attention to everything. They're trying to get ahead. They're ambitious as heck, bro. So, like, those are the people that you try to get around, bro. But in terms of mental health, right, when you leave the locker room, the locker room is no longer existent, who do you talk to? Who do you got to talk to? It gets real fast, right? Because you go to talk to your girl, but your girl might not understand what the locker room was talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
there's just this whole... there's just this whole unspoken thing that athletes learn being a part of a team. And like you said, like with the military reference, like that's to the highest extent of that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if one side of the spectrum to the other, like, you know, that camaraderie and that bond is much different on another level. But athletes it's a parallel to it, you know, in a way, because you have this thing and then when it's gone, obviously, like I said, it's not to the degree of like military, but you have to figure out how to like you said, not identify with your sport anymore. But like, so these people, you know, you're trained to like really just focus on the X's and O's in the weight room and all that. But like, if you don't spend time focusing on what you actually are passionate about outside of those lines, like I think people run into trouble there, because then they graduate or they move on or they have an injury or they career's done and it's like, shit, what now?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So like maybe like someone's listening who is an athlete or they're transitioning out of being an athlete into regular life. Like what kind of advice would you give them?
Honestly, trust yourself, man. Trust your hobbies. Anything that you personally want to do or have done, you're good enough to do it as an occupation, right? Like at the end of the day, bro, it's about who you know. You know what I'm saying? It's not what you know, it's who you know. It's how you work. What are you willing to put in?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So for me, if you're a creative or if you're not a creative, you have a business sense, understand that the enemy never stops coming. What does that mean? You've been born and bred to face obstacles your whole life. That's why you're an athlete, right? What's a new obstacle to you?
To me?
It should be nothing.
Oh, I thought you were specifically asking.
But you feel me, though?
Yeah.
It is what it is. No matter what you go through, you've already done it.
Yeah.
Like for you, for example, bro, we watched your film the other day. It was your last game. You finally got your touchdown, right?
For those of you who don't know, I have one catch in my career, and it's a touchdown.
It's a tutty.
100% touchdown percentage if you throw me the ball.
Right, you're 1 for 1, baby.
Ain't nobody else can claim that. I don't think.
The highest percentage in school.
I would love, if you're listening, I need to meet you. If you are also like me, that you played college ball and you have one catch for one touchdown, I need to meet you. We're going to have the one touchdown club.
Yeah, one touchdown only, bro. Get in for one play, one touchdown. I'm 100% if you ask me. Only so many people need to know after that.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
Next is like Randy Moss. Like his touchdown to catch percentage
maybe
is like 30%.
Maybe.
I'm 100.
You're at 100 right now.
I mean, I think that's like Hall of Fame worthy.
Here's the thing, though. I see Randy Moss catch a fish with his bare hands, so like from a deep. So I don't know. That's a tough one.
That is crazy. Yeah, that dude's different. Who would have been your like inspiration? Because you're a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
Who was like your first person you saw that you were like, I want to play receiver, I want to play football?
Honestly, I never wanted to play receiver. I wanted to play DB.
Really?
I used to love Deion Sanders, but I played receiver because I like scoring touchdowns.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And once I got to college, they was like, you got to pick a side. I'm like, well, I can go hit people or I can go score.
Yeah.
I'm going to go score. Well, unfortunately, I didn't score that much. So it's like, I wish I kind of would have went to go hit people. But at the same time, man, like, the game is the game, bro. You just love it for what it is. Especially when you're a kid, bro. You play everything. You do punt return, kick return, all the above.
You miss that? I miss that.
All the time, bro. Anytime I coach on the field, it's like, I want to talk stuff.
That was one of the, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was one of the first times, like, we were like, oh, shit. Like, you actually were coaching, like, one of my cousins who played at Elizabeth Forward this year, who just committed to IUP, I think.
Correct.
So shout out Zach.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was crazy. I was like, you're coaching at EF? I went to EF. That was like one of the first times we were like, what the hell?
Yeah, man.
It's like one of those lined up things.
I gotta catch myself though, coaching, bro. I gotta catch myself because that shit talking comes back. It comes back.
Joey Porter in the middle of the field.
Oh man, I'm over here talking to these kids like, hold on, Trey, you not playing no more. You gotta be an upstanding citizen right now. I gotta catch myself, man. But this is the competitor in me, man. I can't help it.
Yeah. So your story, you said you wanted to play DB, switched over, played receiver. Would you go back and change that or?
Nah, man, I wouldn't change anything, man. I had a crazy story while I was at college, man. I wouldn't change a single thing, bro. Like, had an incredible time, had the most craziest opportunities that most people will never get, right? So, at the end of the day, I'm happy to be where my feet are right now. And that's the only thing I can really be able to focus on, right? You look too far in the past, it becomes depression. You look too far in the future, it becomes anxiety. And a good friend of mine told me that. So, you know what I mean? Like, it takes time to realize that where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's impossible to realize that until you're out of it. It's like almost it's like this physical impossibility to like, you know, to be in a moment and think like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. There's always somewhere you feel like you're supposed to go to.
Right.
And it's like these steps you got to check off before you can get there.
Right.
You know, you want to just jump straight there. But honestly, I feel like this show kind of is from like the basement to stage AE is almost like skipping a bunch of steps. But yeah, let's get back to the show a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's explain, I guess, what are you excited about the most about it?
I'm excited for people to see your art, to be honest with you. I want to see people's faces and what they do when they see everything that's there, right? Like, we got things there that nobody else has seen in the city and or has not done a show like we're about to do.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel that the city needs right now, man.
Right.
They really need right now. Like, you got to think about everything we go through with this city right now, bro. We got gun violence. We got just things that are just terrible. This is going to be something that's going to spark that positivity back in the city. At least I think so.
Yeah. And I mean, so the proceeds are going to Steel City Impact. So I guess maybe if you want to just tell them a little bit about them.
Yeah. So Steel City Impact, man, they're straight from Stowe Rocks. If you don't know too much about McKees Rocks, man, it's one of the underprivileged areas in our area right now, man, and they deserve all the love and all the strength. But also, with that said, man, a nationally known name, Damar Hamlin's from that area, right? So, like, the city deserves a chance to be able to give back to these little areas, right? McKees Rocks, the Hill District, Homewood, the list goes on and on and on. The first one right now is going to be McKees Rocks, and that's Steel City Impact. So they do a great job over there. We just want to find a way to come in there and be able to help them a little bit more.
Yeah. So all general admission ticket sales goes directly to them.
Yes, sir.
And there will be other opportunities to donate or whatever at the event, whether it's through raffles or something. There's gonna be some like really great sponsors that are involved. So shout out, a lot of people have like came together and like really made this happen. But you know, it all comes back to like, you know, what are we doing it for? Right. And I think for me, it initially was a selfish thing. Mm-hmm. And then with all things, I feel like if your selfish goal is the only goal, that's like when I'd still be doing an event for $100 to invite some friends and drink some beer.
Right.
But like when I realized, I took a step back and was like, oh, there's a way to kind of tie this into a bigger mission.
Right.
And, you know, raise some money and do something good. That's when more people were like, all right, we'll get behind this. Right. And we'll, you know, so like separating myself from the show has been like one of my goals is to, it's to highlight my paintings, but like I really want people to come in there and like talk.
Right.
And start a dialogue. learn about Steel City Impact, what they're doing,
right,
and just have a good time. Like, this event's gonna be fun as hell, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm excited,
so excited,
bro. I was so excited. I needed a good party, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I needed something with some good energy, good art, good music, bro, good people. I'm too excited, man. I got it circled on my calendar, man. It's gonna be a good time, bro. I can't stop cheesing over there, man. You feel me? So I'm excited, man. We got the hounds in the building. We got everybody in the building. They gonna come with it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll do a full like shout out to the team and everybody, because honestly, the work that's went into this has been, like, when we did the video shoot, I don't know what was going through your mind, but I felt like I was on a Hollywood set, dude.
Facts, bro.
Like Clay, shout out to Clay. Cole came through with the audio and the underscore, and is that what it's called? The underscore? Just the score. But yeah, and then, dude, your acting skills are nice.
I'm telling you, one of these days you're gonna catch me on a movie, and then they all gonna be surprised, but y'all ain't gonna be when you see me on the movie. I'm telling you, it's coming.
Yeah, and then to keep shouting people out, but my guy Anthony, Pittsburgh Flyover, shooting right now, dude. Go follow him. He's incredible with the camera. He shot that, and with Dylan Kickler, I'll put their tags underneath it too. So Kick and Anthony are gonna be shooting this event on the 11th at Stage AE. They've been shooting everything behind the scenes of the podcast and everything leading up to it. So shout out to them, man. I couldn't do this without them. Anyways, to come back to the show, we're recording this. We're a couple weeks out. I'm obviously going to drop this leading up to the show. Give your, like, if you had like an elevator pitch to like tell someone why they should come, like, what would you say?
Ooh, elevator pitch. Hold on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So you should come to this show simply just because this show is going to be a chance for you to see creativity and positivity come on the same plane. If you want a chance to be a part of something that's more inspirational than your normal life that we're doing in the city of Pittsburgh, you should definitely come out to this thing because it's going to be different. It's not super expensive. It's $10. If you don't got $10 in your wallet, you probably shouldn't show up anyway. So, like, come out, come have a good time, man. It's going to be a really good time, a lot of positivity, man, and we're giving back.
Yep.
Let me repeat that. We're giving back. I hope that y'all heard that. We're giving back. So that's huge.
Yeah.
Man.
And there are other ticket options too. So, like, if you're watching this, you wonder like what the different ticket options are. There's the next level up is tier 2. It's $100. You actually get a print book of all of the prints of the painting included in that, and enter. I believe that tier also gets you entered into a raffle to win a painting. I think it's that tier. It might be the next tier. There's like 4 or 5 tiers, but go to the website vc2art.com/exhibit, and you can see all the different tiers. If you want to own the whole line, you could buy that ticket too, and you get all 18 paintings. You got a sports bar, you got like a access to some sports museum, something that you want to hang an entire line. This will be the first time this show's in Pittsburgh, man. So, like,
we're
going to keep this thing going year after year. You're going to have the whole line of the first show. Imagine what that's going to be. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe
Listen,
I'm kidding. Maybe I'm not.
You got to tell them, what the package name of that is.
Yeah, you get to be him or her.
Come on now. You either I'm him or I'm her, whatever you are, man. Come and grab that because it's worth it.
Well, cool. I think we covered a little bit about the event, a little bit about you. Is there anything we need to cover before we wrap this one up? I know we're going to be doing a few more here, and this is, like I said, just the kickoff. Is there anything I'm missing about this event, or like how we came to know each other, or what's coming up?
Man, the only thing I can say is shout out to Brian Hess, shout out to the Pavement Group, man. Y'all definitely helped us in so many different ways in terms of sponsorship and just giving ideas, man. And then shout out to everybody who gave their sponsors, as you already did. And then the team, man. We got a strong team behind us, and you guys will get a chance to see them soon. So just get ready.
Anything else? You want to plug yourself? What's your at? All that.
Oh yeah. So if you want to follow me, it's at Tre Tipton 06. My other one got hacked. Got the blue check and then got out. You know what I mean? So Tre Tipton 06. Follow me, man. Also on Twitter, Tipton 05. That's the old number, not the new number. But I appreciate you guys, man, for sure.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for coming on. If you guys are still here and you're still considering coming to the event, please do so. It would mean a lot to me because this is something that I could never have dreamed of, but I can't celebrate it without you. Like, I need you there. If you're watching this, invite someone, mark it on your calendar, go buy a ticket. We're going to have a blast, man. It's going to be a good time.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready.
All right.